finally, for our session, we're going to be joined remotely by Josephine Chanter, who's going to be talking about Take It to the Next Level, experiences and driving growth. So it should be on the screen.
Is that better?
That is much better, much better.
Fantastic.
Right, lovely. Take it away, please.
The Tech Fair and Museum Computer Group, we can all remember that one and enjoy it. So I'm Josephine Chanter and I'm Deputy Director at the Design Museum. Just to say, I was going to be presenting this with a colleague who is not able to join us today, and that is Catherine. I will just go to my next slide. Through. Apologies, this was easier in rehearsal. I'm not quite sure why I can't move through. Bear with me a second.
Does the PowerPoint want to be in presentation mode?
Have we moved through?
No, sorry.
Fantastic. So, Tech Champion at the Culture Network for Digital Culture Network for Arts Council England, and she is part of a really important network and resource that I didn't realise and certainly wasn't available before I started this project. And I just wanted to flag that if you are looking for support around e-commerce, e-marketing, websites, the Digital Culture Network are fantastic. So do reach out, you can book them in for a session, and they've been a fantastic support to us throughout this project. So to give you some background on the Design Museum, we will be 10 years old in our current location next November. We're a dynamic museum reaching about 650,000 visitors a year, and we have a digital footprint of about £5 million. And today I'm going to talk to you about our new ticketing system, which has been a journey for us supported by Bloomberg Philanthropies. And today I want to look at how really a story about icebergs, islands, and a three-legged race to take you through that journey. So a bit more about the Bloomberg Digital Accelerator Programme before we start. It supports non-profit cultural organisations to strengthen their digital infrastructure. They do this through financial investment, but they create a cohort of tech fellows. So a number of organisations who are all working on projects together at the same time. And this really creates an incredible network of support, training, insight, comparison, that I think addresses a lot of the issues that Ash was talking about previously. It provides a greater network and strengthening, which is really exciting. And there's an educational programme that goes alongside it as well. They're based in the UK and the US, so there's a cohort that stretches across those regions. So to give you a bit of background on the Design Museum's ticketing project, we've done a big piece of strategy work called Transformation 2029. There are 4 key work streams within this. We're looking at commercial expansion, audience development, a new vision for our collection gallery, and the Digital Design Museum. And these 4 roadmaps work streams are really interlinked, and we wanted to show this via the medium of, we borrowed this from the wonderful Margaret Calvert's road sign system. But to show these are really key directions for the museum, and we want to make sure that they interrelate as well as really driving the museum forward. So the challenge we had, our current provider, DigiTickets, the contract was up for renewal in May 2025, so it was a great opportunity to look at how that platform was serving us. And we realised that since we brought DigiTickets on board 10 years ago, the profile of our ticket sales had completely changed. Whereas we previously sold the majority of our tickets on site, up to 90% of our tickets sold were through an online platform. So the demands had completely shifted, and we needed something that could really help us deliver that service differently. There was a lot of staff feedback around not being able to step into opportunities and inefficiencies that were holding us back. So felt like it was a great opportunity to collect those and really see what we could address. And our visitors, being the Design Museum, of course, they expect a wonderfully designed experience. So we wanted to make sure that that was really true to the brand. And we had a lot of instances of either poor or missing data that we really wanted to resolve. So we decided, as part of that digital roadmap, we would simplify and rationalise our technology stack. So we worked with a fantastic consultant, Rod Barlow, to do that in parallel. And I think that was quite an interesting decision to do, our first bit of digital transformation alongside that review. But we were able to run those in parallel. And we really wanted, in terms of, what success looked like, was to lower our basket abandonment value, increase the average basket value, maximise our capacity, improve that life cycle revenue, and increase the membership direct debit rate. Alongside that, it's worth saying as well that we also wanted to look at our group bookings and ensure that that was as well developed as it could be. We didn't take it as far as the Science Museum, but we did want to improve that as well. So I think it's always really interesting to show, what museums are using and how their tech stack stacks up. So this is the Design Museum currently, and as I said, that digital transformation roadmap is going to take us to this point where we want to have Microsoft first, very rationalized approach where all of our platforms are really talking to each other and enabling the museum to do what it wants to do and go where it wants to. So back to the iceberg, islands, and three-legged race that I promised you at the beginning. So we really started the project with a huge amount of momentum. We had a fantastic internal group. We had a lot of input and discussions around what we wanted to achieve from the project. We outlined really, really clearly what our specifications were as part of our tender process. We had a lot of transparency, I think, and really good dialogue across the team. And we were able to move quite quickly through to selecting our preferred supplier. Once we selected our preferred supplier, I would say that things shifted quite considerably, and I don't think we anticipated how much management that would really require internally. So going from quite a dynamic, fast-moving process that we were really in control of when we were our iceberg, we moved towards these islands where we were trying to get different suppliers to work together to push the project forward. And there are simple things like using different project management tools, different ways of reporting, of meeting setup, all of that sort of culture of working together. We hadn't really worked through and defined. And in many ways, the project slowed down and it stalled, and a lot of kind of frustration was creeping in. So with the support of the Digital Culture Network and our advisors through Bloomberg Accelerator, we looked at how can we reset the dynamic? How can we move from being these slightly dysfunctional islands to get the project back on track? So we moved to the three-legged race model, which was really just putting more time and effort into relationships. And it might be simple things like inviting the CEO of the supplier to a private view, but also relooking at our meeting schedules, how we were using our project management tools, what our expectations were, mapping out the dependencies much clearer. Back to Ash's point around that clarity, really putting the time and effort into making that happen. So we are still very much in the middle of the project. We're in our user acceptance testing phase, and we're looking to launch in the new year and then review and refine throughout 2026. So it's very much an exciting moment in the project as we can see the finish line. But I think it's really interesting to reflect how you can pivot and replenish a journey while you were in it, and really the kind of effort to be put into relationships can be really quite transformative to ensure that you get to where you want to be in the outcome of the project. Thank you.